Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton, and it is time for another edition of Angel Sudsy Recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television and we do a few reality shows on the side. And one of the daytime TV shows that we're doing is General Hospital. But before we get into GH, what happened on what happened on GH last week? Yesterday was Thanksgiving, and I was able to go with my family to that I've mentioned this on the show before. There's a tiki steakhouse called Damon's, and as a concept, it's very interesting. I mean, it's like a tiki bar, right? And they do have the full selection of fantastic tiki bar drinks. But they've also got really good steak, and I got turkey because they only had it for Thanksgiving, and I like the turkey, but you know, they have great fish and chips. I mean, it was really crazy, but it's great though. I mean, it's so wonderful. I always try to take all of my friends there because it's so nice. My hair's kind of weird today. It's because I have leave-in conditioner, that's why. Anyways, whatever. All right. Oh, and I took my car in to be serviced this morning. Oh, it's fine though. I think it'll be fine. I just need a service and a smog. That's it. And it's like a minor service. I take such good care of my car. I've had my car for 12 years. 12 years, and it has just been, knock on wood, a little wooden nightstand. Oh, and FYI, so this room that I'm in right now, my mom is actually going to be redoing this room, and it's going to look like a tiki bar. So that's exciting. So we won't have a leopard backdrop anymore, but you'll see something exotic and cool. Yeah, that'll be awesome. Anyways, all right. So let's talk about General Hospital. So this past week in General Hospital was there were a few things that happened. In terms of Alexis, you know, Julian has got hurt in jail. So Alexis goes to see him, and he gets all pissed off at Scott. He's like, how dare you tell her I don't want her involved in this, whatever. And then Scott goes and thanks Alexis for going to see Julian, because now at least he's, you know, he knows he's got something that he can fight, you know, fight for and live, a reason to live, a reason to fight. So, Alexis also, for whatever reason, decides that she wants to break Julian out of jail as well. Not break him out, but she doesn't want to see him get killed in jail. How about that? So she goes to Llanview, Pennsylvania. For those of you One Life to Live fans out there, you won't recognize anything because it's not like they have the same sets. But, you know, at least they said Llanview, Pennsylvania, and we got to see Nora's office. So we saw Nora Buchanan's office, and she was there, and Alexis stopped by, and she was like, you know, can you get Olivia Jerome to, you know, tell the judge that it was because she was coerced. And Nora's like, I'm not going to do that. Nora was like, yeah, no, that is not in my client's best interest, and as a good attorney for my client, I can't do that. So Alexis she understands, and she doesn't really make a scene there, but she's like, I'm going to fucking get this bitch to do what I want her to do. So she decides, okay, where does the money come from? Because you know she ain't got no money, Olivia Jerome. So, but again, I still need to understand, how is she still alive? Like, we watched her die in her hospital bed in the 80s. If you were watching General Hospital back then. So, you know, it's not like one of those things like with Jason, where he gets shot and then disappears and then comes back. You know, this is completely different. She was killed, and then she comes back, and we don't know how the fuck that happened. I mean, they've made references to some Eastern medicine or whatever, but we don't know how. Like, I want to know, how did they get her? First of all, how did they bring her back to life? How did they get her body from General Hospital to Hong Kong or wherever the hell she's from with her Eastern medicine? And then why did it take 20 years for her to come back? I mean, like, there's so many questions I've got about this whole Olivia Jerome. Don't get me wrong. I love Olivia Jerome, and I'm glad that they brought her. I'm glad that they brought her back, and she did a great job with her performance. But it just raises a lot of questions. So, anyways, so she's like, well, she don't got no money, so and Julian didn't give her no money. So how does she afford a top-notch attorney from out of state? Oh, Valentine is also Nora Buchanan's client. So, you know, she goes over to Valentine's, and that actually, the Valentine and Alexis scene was like a really great scene. It was really good, because there's a lot of issues between the two of them, and it's really great. Familial issues. It's really great, though. Before I let me take a pause, because I'm talking a lot about Alexis. Last weekend, Nancy Lee Grahn had a, did I tell you about, no, I don't, no, I think I did tell you about this already. No, I didn't. So Nancy Lee Grahn had two events in Las Vegas that I got to go to. I was lucky enough to go to, and they were both, one was Friday night, one was Saturday, one was Saturday night, one was Sunday morning, and the good thing about that is that she was actually in the same room that Michael Jackson dangled baby blanket over. Remember when he dangled blanket over the balcony and he had the baby, but people were freaking out about that? Yeah, that was the same room. The exact same room. Isn't that crazy? So crazy. Anyways. But it was it was great. She's the best. She's really sweet. Very nice. Will answer any sort of question. I felt bad because the next day, because the first day we did a lot of talking about General Hospital, and that's fine because that's what these people watch her for. It's great. But I also know that you can't really ask an actor too much about storyline because A, they don't write it, and B, they can't contractually they can't give you too much information because they want people to tune in, so they can't really bury the lead. You know what I mean? They can't do that. So I get that. But I had lots of questions for her about just life and acting and all kinds of crazy drinking and all kinds of fun stuff. FYI, she pours a mean drink. She made me, her and her fan Jill, FYI, shout out to Jill Just Saying on Twitter, at Jill Just Saying. They both poured me drinks and they were strong, and that was good. They had spiced rum and Coke, and it was two ingredients, but it was more rum than Coke. It was great, though. It was perfect. It was great. Anyways, so the next day, the next day was a little bit trippy because we did talk about, I just asked her questions like, when ABC used to do the Super Soap Weekend, did you ever do Drinking Around the World at Epcot? She was like, no, what's that? And I was like, oh. So I explained to her what Drinking Around the World was and all of that. But it was really great. It was wonderful. So it was a great, I just want to say thank you. I mean, I didn't give away to anything, did I? I don't think so. But it was a really wonderful weekend, and she's lovely. It was fantastic. Okay, back to General Hospital. I'm sorry, I just felt like I had to at least acknowledge it. I can't really talk too much about it because they said that we couldn't really say anything, even though they didn't really give away any storyline, but it was good. It was really good. I had a really good time. Okay, anyways. And I hope that she comes back to Las Vegas. That was the best part, was that she was in town. So even though, technically she wasn't in town because she was in Henderson. She was at Green Valley Ranch. But, that's not that far from where I live. So that was great. It was wonderful. Anyways, okay, so back to General Hospital. So with the whole Jason storyline, I am really enjoying what makes this a good storyline, and it's, even though it isn't my first choice on how to bring Steve Burton back into the show, I do enjoy all of the various nuances that all of the players around are feeling right now. Like, for example, Sam, she is fucking torn up, right? She's now got 2 babies with 2 different men because Scout is Jason Drew's and the other 2 are Jason Six's. And then there's Elizabeth's kid who thinks that Jason Drew is his dad, doesn't really know Jason Six. Jason Six doesn't even know that he's alive. I mean, he knows that he's alive, but he didn't know that he was alive when he was killed 5 years ago, or killed. You know, so that, I mean, that is a whole level of complication, right? And then there's Franco, who is terrified of losing Elizabeth to either one, because no matter who, because Sam will obviously get first pick, and then whoever Sam doesn't pick, he's afraid will go after Elizabeth, and then once again, Franco will be left alone. So, you know, I enjoy the bad Franco, but not the bad Franco. You know what I mean? Like, I love the whole Tom Baker storyline. I liked bad Franco as Roger Howarth as bad Franco. Not as James Franco as bad Franco, because that Franco was really bad, right? The pre-tumor Franco, that was a little much. But the good thing about Franco is that even Franco has redeeming qualities. Ava Jerome, even though, you know, Jason was conflicted because he went and just made sure that she got the instructions to fix her face and stuff, and Carly ripped into him. She's like, don't talk to her. She's the one that killed Morgan. He didn't know that, because obviously she's not going to offer up that information. And she said, I did not mean for him to die. You know, I just meant for him to get help because he could not be around Kiki. And I was just protecting my daughter. And Jason was like, Morgan was my godson, so I've repaid my debt to you, and now we're done. Now, that was very mature, but I felt bad for her because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I feel bad for Carly because she's lost her kid, but A, you know he's not really dead because this is a soap opera, and everyone and their mother, no one dies on General Hospital. And B, it was kind of mean. Like, even to someone you really don't like that much. I mean, because she was in front of Griffin, her date, who was a sweetheart. So it's kind of, that was a little much. And then, so you've got, then Carly and Sonny have totally bought that Jason Six is Jason, and they are in it to win it. So they've totally left Jason Drew out in the cold, right? And I mean, I feel bad for Jason Drew because he is under the impression that he is Jason, so he thinks that this other guy with his face, who they've kind of realized they're twins, so one is Jason and one is Drew, and pretty much Billy Miller is Drew, but, you know, but he thinks he's Jason, and he thinks this other guy's come in with his face, who ends up being his twin brother, and they're Monica, I gotta say, Monica has the best reaction, because she's like, you know what, I love you both, you know? I wish Susan had told me about both of you so that, you know, you all could have had a different life, both of you. And this is the one problem I have with that, is that Jason was like, oh, I had a great life. You know, really? Did you really have a great life? Because the whole reason you're Jason Morgan and not Jason Quartermain. I remember when he was Jason Quartermain. I'm still waiting for the day that Jason Quartermain comes back. Because basically he got into so AJ, this is what happened. For those of you that don't know, around 20 years ago, or 25 years, it was a while ago. Late 80s, early 90s. AJ got drunk. This was like 3 AJs ago. He got drunk and got in a car accident, and he had Jason in the car with him, and Jason ended up losing his memory. So he knew he didn't want to be a Quartermain. So that's when he did take Monica's maiden name, which was Morgan, and then he just became Jason Morgan. Well, so obviously he didn't think he had that great of a life if the whole reason he is Jason Morgan is because now I'm waiting for someone to just drop a freaking pot, like a flower pot on his head, and then all of a sudden he becomes Jason Quartermain, and he's right back to where he was 20 years ago, and he's like, you know, where's Karen? Because he was dating Karen at the time when that whole thing happened, and then they broke up not that long after that. But I mean, like, that would be, you know, where's AJ? And then AJ's dead, and you know, that would be a good story to me. But anyways, it's a great storyline though. I'm looking for the performances are really making it. So I just want to say thank you for logging on today. I do appreciate you all. Please feel free to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Angel Benton. You can hashtag GH to talk about General Hospital, or you can also hashtag RHOC or Real Housewives shit to talk about the Real Housewives of Orange County. I'm doing that one next. And you can also hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel to get my YouTube videos sent to your email inbox every single day. Thank you so much for logging on today, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.